Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Beatles.
Named the dog Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in pints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my man who's a dad who likes to try to be nerdy with his daughter. It's Frank. How are you today?
Feeling old.
Sure. Is it the knees, the back?
The back.
The fact that
it's the back.
The fact that we've passed more time from when Jurassic Park came out than when Jurassic Park came out next to the moon landing.
Ooh, yeah, that one. Oof, yeah,
doesn't that hurt?
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I only recently heard that one, and that one hurts.
Yeah, it hurt. That's a deep. It hurts deep. It wounds the flesh.
It does. It makes me feel like an old dog. It makes me feel like an old brown dog.
Anyway, Frank, we are here to talk about what we are drinking. What are you drinking?
Old brown dog.
Nice. Good segue. Great segue.
It is a Smuttnose old brown dog American brown ale.
Oh, you set yourself up so well. I set you up. Did I set you up?
Uh-huh. I set me up, but you yes-anded me.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
That's the kind of chemistry that only 400 plus episodes can buy you.
Right? No kidding. I am drinking something a little bit different. I've mentioned on episodes before, I'm having a hard time drinking beer at night. It's a little on the heavier side. So I'm drinking a Jameson, straight up Irish whiskey. However, this is a Jameson orange. Have you ever had a Jameson orange?
I've not.
It is Jameson. So, it's the Irish whiskey, but it has natural zesty orange flavor attached to it. And it is it's pretty zesty, to be perfectly honest. Like when it says it's got an orange flavor, there's no joke. It's not like there's like, like when you have a glass of red wine or something, like there are hints of chocolate. Like, no, there's not.
Sure.
Like, I can't taste, like, what are you talking about? My taste buds are not that strong.
Sure. It's not a hint. It's pretty out there.
No, this is orange. I am drinking an orange.
Interesting. So it's not sweet.
No, it's a little sweet. I would put it maybe a step below Tennessee honey.
Okay.
Gotcha. As far as
so this sounds like it would be really good as part of like an old fashioned or
if I liked old fashioned, I would agree with you.
Fair.
I am old fashioned, but I do not drink old fashioned.
Fair.
Yeah. But yeah, it probably would go well with an old fashioned.
Like a Manhattan.
Yeah. Truthfully, it would. I'm not drinking it iced. I'm drinking it straight. But this would be really good cold and like with some ice in it. Like it actually would be rather refreshing. Instead of like syrupy isn't the right word, but it is a little on the heavier side, which is hilarious considering that I am drinking this because I said that I am not having heavier things. But it is it is a little heavy, and I don't know if that's Jameson or if that's the orange.
I would think that's the orange.
Yeah, Jameson has
I
never.
Think Jameson on its own is what I would call heavy.
No, me either. It is good though. I do like it. It's more of like it tastes more like a dessert whiskey than anything.
Okay.
Which is fine because I'm having this after dinner for me, so I.
There you go.
It is good, and it doesn't. Jameson's a little smoother.
Yes.
Than the makers that I was drinking.
Sure.
Previously.
Yeah.
So, wets the chords. It's good. It's good. I won't have it all the time, but I'm glad that I do have some.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm actually, I don't have whiskey in the house at the moment. And as we're recording this, St. Patrick's Day is a couple of weeks away. So it's a good time to pick up some Jameson. And
it is a good time.
And have that around.
Yeah. It's a good time to pick up that Irish product, a product of New York, Jameson. It's Irish in New York, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was a kind of rhetorical, jokey thing, but
cool.
I did know that. Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen Gangs of New York. I know there's
good.
there.
Yeah, good. I've been to St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Yeah. Good point. I have. Yeah, good point.
Not a coincidence.
No, I'm sure not.
That church exists because of the potato famine, like straight up.
Mm-hmm. So I thank you, potato famine.
I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
Sound right? No, that can't be true. Okay, Frank, we are both dads. We've mentioned it enough because we're very proud of ourselves for being dads. We made
Girls
it.
like us.
We made it. Yeah. Sometimes. I mean, my daughter likes me all the time. So
there's
like,
that. There's that.
Girl likes me. Yeah. But anyway, so but we're also nerds, Frank. We're also
That's right.
Beer with Geeks. And so have you thought about like how much you want to introduce to your daughter, whom I'm calling Belinda because you don't use her real name. So on this show, her name is not Belinda. And you can come up with a name for my daughter if you want. Let's make
Florence.
it fun. Florence, great, good. Belinda and Florence, they're gonna be great friends.
B and Flo.
Yeah, B and Flo. Oh, that'd be so cute. That's a nice name, Florence. Actually, hi Flo. I just think of Finding Nemo though. That's
yeah. Oh yeah. There you go.
Or Florence Henderson. Actually, they'd be the other one.
Florence Nightingale.
Florence Pugh. I guess that would be. I guess the
Belinda Carlisle.
Oh, good one. Very good. Yeah. Would you go with B or Lynn or Linda? Duh.
I would have to. I feel like B is probably what I would latch onto, but I would want her to figure it out when she got older. If she wants to be a Linda or Lynn, whatever, that's cool.
Yep, I agree. A Belle. She could be Belle. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
There's a lot of options there.
Whatever.
Anyway. I lost my train of thought. We were talking about Belinda and
Florence.
B and Flo. Oh, and like what you do with them to like, what are you doing with her to like introduce her to the world of your interests without like making sure she's like not going to get beat up on the playground or be like overly pretentious because she knows who Bach is or something like that.
Right.
Right. What do you like? Yeah. So what do you like? What do you read with her? What do you watch? What do you listen to? How cool is she going to be?
Well, that's those are different questions. You just throw the curveball there.
How cool is she going to be to a bunch of adults?
Screw
the other kids.
I have given a great deal of thought to this before she was even born. Before I knew that she was going to be a she. I have given a lot of thought to it. I have always been of the opinion, and I feel this way because a lot of parents of older kids have confirmed it. You don't want to come in too hot. You don't want to come in too hot with anything because that automatically makes them not interested.
So true.
The older they get, I think the truer that is. So I don't want to come in too hot with anything because honestly, the things that I love most were maybe not introduced to me in a subtle way, but were also not rubbed in my face. Like, you're going to love this.
Mm-hmm.
They were just present around me and I latched onto them. So my feeling is like, have it be around. I was having a conversation with my sister just today, actually. She was like, "Oh, she's but Belinda's only 7.5 months old." So,
sorry, but it's always going to be funny to me. I think the Belinda and Florence. It's good.
Belinda is only 7.5 months old, so she doesn't have favorite characters yet or anything like that. My sister was saying, "Oh, I can't wait to find out, what kind of like, characters is she going to be drawn to that she'll want, like, shirts and backpacks and stuff that have their faces on them and stuff." And I was saying, well, it really is. It's about what they're exposed to, right? So like whatever we choose to expose her to, it'll be one of those things. So like you can kind of, I don't want to say influence it, but you can sort of, if there's a few things you want her to be exposed to, you can expose her to them. And one of those things will end up being her favorite. Mm-hmm. Maybe not all of them like you want them to be, but she'll latch on to something. And it's probably going to be something that I don't expect. So, I would love it if she was into Star Wars and Superman, and maybe she'll be more into Star Trek than Star Wars. Maybe she'll be more into Batman than Superman or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll be excited that she likes those things, and I'll want to foster that.
Sure. That's pretty much where I am too. I I like the advice that you say, don't push the thing because it's only going to, pull her away. So, for instance, my daughter is a year old. She's 17 months if you want to do the months, which I only know that because she has an 18-month doctor appointment, so I have to keep track of the month previous to that.
Sure.
But
we don't go around saying oh yeah, no, she's 137 weeks old and she does
I can't stand that. I can't do that. And so I'm not interested. So so my friend crocheted my daughter Florence a Princess Leia when she was born, and made her a little Princess Leia head thing, hat thing, and all.
Sure, I remember that. Yeah.
So she's had that crocheted Princess Leia her whole life,
right?
And only in the past week has she shown any interest in it because. Right. And so because she likes to come into my office where I record this podcast and play, and I don't think we've ever put out pictures of what my office looks like, but it's like a toy store in here. For the adult,
It's like if a toy store and a library met.
Yeah, that's my office. Yeah.
At the museum.
At a museum. That's right. Yeah. That'd be another way to describe it. If a Victorian library,
mm-hmm.
like Naturalist Library, had KB Toys throw up in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's my office.
It's the FAO Schwartz Library Museum.
Yeah, that's like that. Classy. Really mm-hmm. classy. So anyway, there's a lot of nerdy stuff just out in my office. Most of it is either DC, Star Wars, dinosaurs, some cars, Lord of the Rings, some Marvel stuff depending on my mood. But most of it's Star Wars and DC. And so she Florence, to go back to the Princess Leia thing. I have a Hot Toys of Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, that's, out. And she goes over to him, Luke, because when she was younger, she'd want to say hi to all of them. She would give them kisses. I'd have to take them off the stand, and she would kiss Ahsoka and Anakin and Obi-Wan and Luke and Boba Fett and Din Djarin and whoever was out. It didn't matter. She'd carry Grogu around with her in her little hand and whatever else. Has a Grogu plush, doesn't care. Likes the little hard plastic one. But anyway, she has, over the past week or so, really taken to Luke. And I don't know why, because I taught her what a cape is I don't know if I told you this. I taught her what a cape is a couple weeks ago. And so, you start to teach kids what to notice and whatever else. So, does Batman have a cape? Does Darth Vader have a cape? Does Superman have a cape? So she goes to different characters and goes, cape, 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 cape. She loves Moff Gideon. I said, you want to say hello to Giancarlo Esposito? Mm-hmm. And so she goes and gives Giancarlo a kiss on the head, which I ever met him. I feel like he's the kind of man that would appreciate that.
Totally.
Yeah, he would totally love that. But so she likes to walk around with Luke, and I'm like, part of me is dying inside because the Hot Toys are very expensive. And so,
sure.
But I'm also she's not throwing him. She's not eating him. She's not drawing on him. She's not, she's just walking. So it's okay. They're hard plastic. He'll survive.
You're right.
And so I have this Star Wars graphic novel adaptation of the original trilogy. It goes through A New Hope with the real dialogue and all this stuff. And so she's a
real dialogue. Wow.
The real dialogue from it's just like, and sometimes it makes the movie a little better. Like they like cut down some scenes where I'm like, that was unnecessary. You're right. You could have solved that issue right in this room at this moment. But so we've been reading that some nights at bedtime, and I get to do the voices. So
yay! So you're the 3PO.
I actually whistle. Like I'll do the like I'll do that whenever he does his little thing, or I'll be like, "Come here, my little friend. Don't be afraid."
Nice.
You know, you may file.
And she hasn't
when
seen
ready.
A New Hope, right? You
Nope.
haven't
Nope.
yeah, okay.
Nope. Not into the TV yet. So but Darth Vader will show up, and she'll point up at the ceiling, knowing that like the Darth Vader in my office, who has a cape, so she likes him. You know, right? So she's like, "Oh, that's the same," but she'll point at Luke and go, "Luke." And then I said, looking at the cover, this is Han, this is Chewie, this is Leia. So now she carries her little Leia around sometimes. Took 17 months for her to go, I like this thing.
Yeah.
You know, but it was never pushed. It was just the stuff in my office to go back to your point. So I never tried to get her to like it. It was just what she was exposed to in the house. She liked playing in my office because it's nice and fun and colorful. She gets to jump on the chair and, you know, whatever else. Not jump because she's 17 months. She doesn't know how to jump.
Well, yeah.
But, so that goes a long way. Just having that stuff. But when we were kids, our parents didn't love the stuff that they liked in their childhoods, right? They were like too adult for that, right? They ditched those things.
Right. That's something that has become more common in our generation.
Right. So we get to introduce, like you could get Captain Kirk plush and just like have it around, and maybe she'll get attached to it one day. And then like, you know, you could just move along naturally like that.
Or I could get a Tribble now and she'll try to eat it.
She will try to eat it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, you could do that if you wanted to.
I could.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. I wouldn't, but
but I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been reading to my daughter a lot too, and I really like, you were talking about reading graphic novels to your daughter. My graphic novel collection is not quite there's not a ton of things that I would pull out of here and actually read to her.
Sure.
But you were telling me before about some books that you read.
Oh yeah.
To her that you thought were really good.
Yeah, so she loves books. I mean, she reads through a lot of books multiple times a day. Like we had an adaptation of The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, a board book that we read a lot over the summer. That was her favorite for a long time. And so she's been pulling. I had 2 copies of Death of Superman for some reason. So she pulled one down off the shelf and just started flipping through it and like, woo! Lois Clark, and that's just whatever. So she doesn't get any of the images that are on. She just sees Superman and goes soup,
right?
You know, so that's so she wants to tear it apart, knock your socks off. Like I got another one,
right?
So she likes Jeff Johns' Superman Secret Origin one.
Cool.
So that's but she doesn't again get any of the things. But I do have Superman of Smallville by Art Baltazar and Franco. It's just about middle school Clark Kent being Superman, like alien ship, crypto, you know, like all that. And it's so clean and so fun. And I've read that so many times out loud, I can't even tell you. And it's just wonderful. And that's along with all the regular, books that we read. But I found that because she likes reading and she is, I want to say she's an advanced reader because she's only 1, but she knows like some of the alphabet, you know,
advanced for her age.
But but it is holding her attention. Like we'll read anywhere between 20 and 40 pages of that thing at a time. And I'm reading every word in every word bubble, like moving along. And I kind of point at the panel that we're on, and depending on how tired she is, like she's either really like we go through every single one. It's one time I tried not to do it and she got upset at me. Like, she was like, I don't want to read this book about houseplants. Get out of here. Like,
oh,
soup.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's been real fun. Like, really fun. Because there are like Star Wars books or Superman books or whatever that are like are kid appropriate, like our board books in her age, and she's like not interested in all of them. Like I have My Dad is a Superhero, which is like a little Superman book, but it's like, oh, my dad does this, like Superman, blah blah blah, and she's like, meh, not interested.
Yeah.
But she really is into that graphic novel. It's like so weird. I can't explain it.
I think there's some things that are just. I think there's some things that are just like, yeah, there's a kid version of it, and that's great for some kids. But there's also like, I don't know, like in some cases, when we're talking about a comic, like the pictures are colorful, like they're the quote unquote grown up version is just as good as the kids version in some ways, at least visually, let's say, right?
Yep.
And there's more of them. There's more pictures. There's more panels per page, and all of that. So if the kid is really drawn to the visuals, that might actually be kind of better for them because, like, wow, every page has 5 pictures on it instead of just 1.
Right. But some kids might be overstimulated by that.
Exactly. That's not good for some kids. Right.
There's too much going on. She's just at an age and a level in which that she likes it, but doesn't like it all the time. I have an Archimaniacs one, same creative team, doesn't care. Like,
interesting. Yeah.
Not interested in Batman in the slightest. So Superman all the way. So it's pretty wild. And even Supergirl, even Supergirl, like to an extent, but yeah. What about music? Because Belinda.
Music's another one.
Yeah, Belinda is more of a music listening age than a reading age.
Yes,
right now.
than a reading age. Yes. Yeah, music's another one where I've kind of been going more for. We listen to some Raffi. We listen to. There's one. I'll use my one lookup to find the name of the artist while I'm talking here. But there's one album of kids versions of Beatles songs that's on Spotify.
Oh, cool.
That she loves, Beatles lullabies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Happy Baby Lullaby Band.
I'm thinking of a different one actually, but okay, that's cool.
But they have a couple hours worth of covers of Beatles songs, and it's really they're nice, but they sound like a music box.
Gotcha.
But I have spent a lot more time with her listening to actual Beatles albums and like actual classic records. Like we've been on a tear for the last few weeks where I was sick and then my wife was sick. And so while my wife was sick, I was waking up, taking sort of the morning shift with the baby and waking up early. And every morning I would put on a record and we would, have playtime on the floor and stuff while a record was playing. And so for a few days, it was some Beatles records. And then I started sort of going through like, what are like the classic vinyl records that I have that are sort of classic albums. So like Carole King's Tapestry and Fleetwood Mac Rumors and like just sort of grabbing a bunch of things like that. Not that she's really able to appreciate any of that, but just to make that be sort of the soundtrack of her, of her world and expose her to it. And I'll keep doing that over time. And some songs will stand out. Already the Beatles' All My Loving makes her like smile and sometimes she, to the extent that she can stand, she'll kind of dance to it. But it usually, like if she's in a bad mood, that will actually kind of calm her down, is hearing All My Loving. So I sing it to her a lot. I play it on my guitar, I play the record, I play, on Spotify or whatever. She loves it.
That's awesome. We did a lot of Beatles too, and we found a good bridge. So we did a lot of Raffi first. And Raffi does an amazing cover of Octopus Garden.
Like, yes.
Arguably, to me, it's arguably better than the original Octopus Garden. I'm going out on a limb here.
Well, you can make that argument, but
yeah, I will go out on an octopus limb here and say that I like it a little bit better. Maybe it's just because I heard it a million times.
Sure.
But you put that on, and all of a sudden, then you listen to the original Octopus Garden, and she was like, interesting. Like, that's the same song.
So she clocked it.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. And so we did that a couple of times, the Yellow Submarine and then, whatever. And then she dug with the Beatles, like really went hardcore with the Beatles.
Which I love that I love that you guys played it enough that she clocked it, and that she like latched onto it that much.
Oh yeah, like it was for a long time. It was just with the Beatles. That's all she really wanted to listen to. And it's funny that like you said it was All My Lovin', right? That's what.
Yeah, that's on with the Beatles.
Yeah, but she was more on the like Hold Your Hand and oh my gosh, what's the
She Loves You?
Yeah, She Loves You. Like and so she would go like oh my gosh, now I'm totally blanking. I got to use my lookup. Don't judge me.
No judgment. No judgment here. With the Beatles, and I know you mentioned Sgt. Pepper as well. As
yeah. So it took us a long time, but like we finally went to Sgt. Pepper because that's one of the other ones that we have. And then so she like started to understand that they were the same group. And then so we started to ask her, "Do you want With the Beatles or Sgt. Pepper?" And she would go, "Beatles or Pep." Like those were her. Like those were the
Yes.
two choices. Oh, it won't be long. That's what I was thinking.
It won't be long.
Yeah, so then she learned the word "yeah" because of "it won't be long." Because they would go,
cute.
"It won't be long." Yeah, she go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Like so, but to her, like it's just music. She just likes music, and she's really into ABBA right now and the 1964 Rudolph soundtrack. Like that was a big hit over Christmas and continues to be a big hit. Yeah. So I listen to that thing so many times you think I'd be sick of it by now. I'm not. I'm more sick of the Beatles than I am of that Rudolph soundtrack. And I probably listen to Rudolph more than which is wild to me that I'm not sick of it yet. But but we also have these things called Jam books. Have you heard of these?
Jam. No, it doesn't sound familiar.
There's something my parents found where they're sound books, but they're of classical composers and classical pieces of music.
Oh,
and so there's
cool.
the Beethoven book and Vivaldi and Chopin and Peter and the Wolf and the Nutcracker and like all these different pieces. And so she'll like go to them and be like, "Ooh, Bach," and she'll pull the Bach book down and like go through the different Bach pieces. There's opera and ballet, and she gets like into particular moods about which one she wants. Kind of like Carnival of the Animals. She'll be like lion, and she'll get the lion. She'll go to the lion page.
These look so cool.
They're great, and like my parents had them, and they gave them to her for Christmas, I think. So she was already over a year old by the time she got them in our house. But she was doing them with them probably about right now. Because there is a story in each one technically, but we don't read the stories. She goes for the music, but they're very cool, and they play a good chunk of the music, maybe like 8 to 10 measures of it.
So I have a dumb question.
Yeah.
So in our day, there would have been a cassette that came with that book or a CD that came with that book. How do they do it now?
So it's all
is
just
it a QR code?
It's all just plugged. It's all programmed into the book, like any sound book, where you like.
So it's just like a button you press on.
It's just
book.
a button you press.
Got
it.
Okay, sorry, I was thinking like a book on. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And no, actually, we found that it was actually good for the sensory part of things, so getting her to learn how to press things and that. Have a reaction because we're pretty anti toys that make noise or light up or flash or anything like that, and like these books are like the extent of like that. Like you press the button, it makes a noise. The noise just happens to be Vivaldi's Four Seasons. That's fine. Yeah, and so she'll dance to them just as much as she'll dance to With the Beatles or ABBA.
Got it.
Or she was really into The Who for a little while. She liked, she liked The Who for a bit. Like it's all over, jazz.
See, I love that. Like I love that. Like a 17-month-old who likes The Who and Carnival of the Animals as much as she likes Raffi.
Yeah, she likes. I mean, kids like music. I mean, a lot of people like music. So, like, I feel like it's not like outrageous that she likes music, but I just like that she appreciates the good rhythm, appreciates the good beat, like the good sound. Like she harmonized with the Beatles one day. You know, like I don't know if I ever shared that video with you where they were like, I can't remember what song it was. All I've got to do to bother me till there was you. Might have been It Won't Be Long, but you know, at the end they go, who, you know,
yes.
What song is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably It Won't Be Long.
Yeah, okay.
Till I belong to you.
That's it, yeah. So it is I Won't Be Long. And at the end, she was just like kind of like doing her own thing, and then she looked up and went, who, all right along with them. It was great. So kids, but but she recognizes them now. Like, we have Beatles books and everywhere, so
nice.
She'll point and be like, where's Paul? There's Paul. Where's George? There's George. You know, like, it's all over the place. And we have this little book called The History of Rock, which I have told you about, which you have to get. It starts with the blues and goes to Chuck Berry, Elvis, and then it kind of just rolls up all the way to the modern day. So technically, like, Muse is also in there by the time you get to the end.
Gotcha.
Which is just cool. I did put on a Muse song the other day, and I was like, just to try it, and she listened to about a minute of it, and I was like, do you like it? And she was like, yeah. Then she walked off. So I was like, good enough. She likes the older stuff. It's okay.
I love that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've played a lot of classical music for her as well. Just like around the house, like especially if it's just the two of us at home, I'll just put on some classical. For a while there, for a couple of months, I was every night while I was getting her ready for bed, because I generally do the bedtime routine. Mm-hmm. Every night while I was getting her ready for bed, we listened to all of Peter and the Wolf. It was just this soundtrack to her bedroom routine for months. And that was sort of intentional to sort of get her in okay, it must be bedtime because I'm hearing this music right now. Yeah, because I loved Peter and the Wolf as a kid.
You should totally get that Peter and the Wolf Jam book.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I saw your eyes perk when I said Peter and the Wolf.
Yes. Yeah,
I also loved Peter and the Wolf when I was a kid. We used to watch the Disney cartoon of it when we were kids, and so. But even like the wolf song would show up, and I'm like, and she'd go, ooh, wolf. Like, and
see, I stopped playing it for her because I was like, you know what? She's going to get to a point where she understands what a wolf is, and this is going to be too scary. But maybe I was wrong.
You know, it's funny because we're taking the approach that it's only scary if you make it scary.
It's true. You know what? Yes, we take that approach with most things too. So you're right. Yes.
You know, like her first, second, third trip to the zoo, something like that. Really, really early in going to the zoo. Because we were given a pass for Christmas. Very fortunate.
Yes.
They were doing a 2-for-1 plush sale, and I'm a sucker for a plush and a sale and buying things for my child. So it was like it's a bad package. And so she got a bear because she's really into bears, which again should be scary, but they're not. We love bears everywhere. For kids stuff, and the other one she wanted was a wolf. Like she's like I like the wolf, like, and that's it. So things that the only thing I've ever really seen her be scared at are some of the dinosaurs in my office, like, and that's not because they look scary, but because they're large. They're her size. I have like a really big Brachiosaurus and a Giganotosaurus, and like she would be afraid to go near them until like I started petting the Brachiosaurus. And we like pretended to feed him and everything. Now she like wants to go see him. So, but like the wolf, nothing. Like it's only scary if you make it scary, because the sound we've learned that sounds scary, but she doesn't know that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were saying the same thing about people ask us all the time, like, oh, is she afraid? We have 2 cats at our house. Is she afraid of the cats? And it's like, no, why would she be afraid of the cats? What reason does she have to be afraid of a cat?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah,
it's just a small hairy person as far as she knows. Like, why would she be afraid of it?
That's right.
She doesn't know that animals bite or anything like that. Like, why would she be afraid of it?
Nope, I agree, because we also have a cat, and our cat has been monstrously good. Like,
really?
He's got his tail pulled, ears plucked, whatever, and he just like goes and moves away. Like he's fine. And so, which is good, and she loves him. Wants to cuddle and hug him and all the stuff. And so, but we're like, You got to watch her. The dog, you could do almost anything to it. I don't even have to watch her. But cats are different. But you're right. Until she's scratched, she has no reason to be afraid. No. You don't know that a car is dangerous until you're told that it's dangerous, or that like the alligator is going to get you until like you're told that. So, yeah. So there's nothing. Even like the dark itself. Like you're only you're only scared of the dark if you're told the dark is scary. There's a monster in your closet or under the bed or anything. Like if you don't say those things, then there's no reason to be afraid. The words to live by. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Frank, this was fun. Tell the people where they can find us.
You can find us at beerwithgeeks.com. You can find us at thoughtbubbleaudio.com. You can support us by following or subscribing, as well as rating and reviewing us in any podcast app, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Overcast or anything else. And you can also support us by donating at Thought Bubble Audio on Patreon. Patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio.
Very good, Frank. Lovely to chat dad stuff with you. We'll be back to chat more dad stuff as they get older, because you know what? Belinda she's gonna fall for some other things that just happen to be in your sphere, in your circle. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about how she accidentally just happens to love, I don't know, something.
Worf.
Yeah, sure. It could be. You never know. Like, they glob onto weird things.
They do.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, until next time, cheers.
Cheers.